Welcome back to Thailand ChitChat. We've got the Hua Hin report today, our monthly feature. So we'll be talking about what's happening in Hua Hin with some feature news. So we'll get on with it. Okay, so Richard, as I always say, how are things down in Hua Hin and what's happening?
Well, it's hot, and that is the big word of the day. So there's a fair bit of traffic going by me at the moment. I'm at a little cafe, my favorite little coffee spot, and but no, it's the heat is on. Somebody's turned it up.
What temperature
and,
is
everybody
it there?
is noticing that. Well, yesterday around 36. Today we're expecting about 35. A little more light cloud today, but it's generally just hot.
Yeah,
lots of heat. So
they're predicting it's going to go up to over the Songkran 10, 11, 12. It's going to go up to 40, 43 degrees. Yeah.
Well,
more sort of Isan and north. Yeah.
I think so. I think that'll be up in Nakhon Nowhere. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the news?
Okay, let me carry on. Well, it really has been a very interesting few weeks. I was very pleased to receive an invitation to attend a talk by a guy called Nick Fordham, who has produced a series of podcasts on the so-called Death Railway, really inspired from the movie The Bridge Over the River Kwai.
Yeah.
And Nick spent about a year doing research, and so he traveled from Singapore up through Malaysia and followed the pathway up to Kanchanaburi, where the bridge was constructed by POWs during the war. And Nick really also managed to track down a few people who were very knowledgeable about that whole period, and even two people who are still alive today. Back in the Second World War, these two people, one was just 8 years old and the other was 15. And Nick had managed to catch up with these, and here's some personal accounts and recollections from that time. So Nick gave a terrific presentation about his podcast and his research and his findings. And one of the most unusual things is that there is no bridge over the River Kwai. Fact. But I'm going to leave you to think about that. And if you want to find out more, you should check out Nick's podcast. I'll send you a link so that you can find out more, because it's well worth a listen. And I thoroughly recommend it. So he gave that talk over at the Centara Hotel just a few weeks ago. And he had a terrific number of people really watching. And the nice thing is, the Centara Hotel was the old railway hotel. That's right. And obviously has a terrific history. And a lot of people that viewed that talk were obviously of an age where it really resonates, or else they would know people who were involved in the last war or involved in the bridge construction. So that was a really inspiring chat. So I would urge you to have a look at Nick Fordham, and the podcast is called The Death Railway Revisited.
I think it's a fascinating story, but fascinating the fact that there's still people alive from that time, because you think about it, 45, they must be hitting the late 90s, over 100 years old.
Yes, exactly. Well, yes, so well up there. Absolutely right. Yeah. But, there are these people, these amazing people that are around. In fact, where I'm sitting at the moment, Albert sometimes comes in. He's 96 and he walks up the steps and he sits down at the cafe here, has a cigarette and a beer at 96. That's unbelievable.
That is perfect. 96 years old, a beer and a cigarette. My goodness.
Yeah.
He's enjoying life.
So, and that's terrific. But, there's another guy who, again, is, when you reach that age, he's full of stories about the last World War, because people of that generation just are, Anyway, so that was fascinating. And you may have well seen in the Bangkok Post and other press that, in fact, there was another tunnel just discovered a couple of days ago at Kanchanaburi. It actually was discovered a few weeks ago, but just hit the press over the weekend. and it's in the Bangkok Post. You can have a look at that. And there's a wonderful picture of the guy standing in this tunnel. It's only just been found. It's in very good condition, considering that it was constructed during the time of that railway.
Yeah, what they were saying in that article was it's 35 meters long. They're looking at how to monetize it for tourism. And it was originally, they think it was originally made so when there was bombings going on, soldiers could go in there and hide, get protection,
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that. I'm sure they'll find out more about the history of that over the next coming weeks and months. A few other things going on. I had a birthday last week.
Oh, really? God, congratulations! You had another one.
Yeah, I know. I got the extra, wrinkles to show for it. But I thought I'd celebrate and do something I hadn't done for 40 years. I'm that old. So I went up to the sailing club. There is a sailing club in Hua Hin Sailing, run by a guy called Richard Vine. Now, he's an excellent expert sailor who travels around the globe sailing and enjoying life. But you can go to his sailing club and rent a little dinghy. And so I thought, well, let's do that as a bit of a birthday treat. So I did. I went up there and I told him, well, I haven't sailed for about 20 years. It was actually 40, but I wanted just to have a go. And he let me have this boat and I jumped in and got going. And within, about 40 meters, I capsized and ended up in the water. Luckily, it was so close to shore, I was within my depth. And, it's a bit, as I was saying to Richard, it's a bit like riding a bike. Once you've done it, you don't really forget. And
so once you capsized once, you'll do it again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So I thought I'd give it a go. So some instinct kicked in, and I automatically went round the other side of the boat and did the recovery so that it would right itself. And the way you do that is these little boats, they have a little centerboard. And the way you right a boat after a capsize is you go lean and put your weight on this centerboard, and then it gradually brings the boat upright. And that's what I did instinctively.
I wouldn't be able to get back in. My problem is, I might be able to pull over, but I wouldn't be able to pull myself to get back in.
Well, there you go. I'm not going to comment on that. But anyway, sailing is a terrific sport. And the sailing club has got a lovely little restaurant. They do great food. Lovely people go there for lunch. Well worth checking out. Richard Vine and his Hua Hin Sailing Club.
Right.
There's another thing. About 3 weeks ago, just after we talked, I joined the crew that operate Jungle Aid. Now, Jungle Aid is a registered foundation charity here in Hua Hin, and they deliver food and essential items to rural, remote areas, mainly geared for children and their families. And I thought I would accompany them. And we went south about 2 hours, 20 minutes drive south, past Prachakirikan, and past Bang Sen, and then turned right towards the Myanmar border, Burmese border. And we came to a little village area. And it was interesting because the little houses had about 50 or 60 children on this one main house. And the kids' parents had gone off to the farms for the day. But the children were taken care within a central village, which I thought was terrific. No daycare fees. But the Jungle Aid crew had supplied rice. They had a doctor, so they gave people there a medical check. Because a lot of them had got, either skin rashes or little bites or stings or mosquitoes or, stuff like that. They just needed a little bit of basic attention. And then we spent about a couple of hours doing some drawing and painting. There was a skipping rope so the kids could jump over and do a little bit of skipping and jumping and activities. Jungle Aid also provided lots of clothing, which had been donated. Plus good quantities of good quality food and just stuff that they're not able to get hold of down there, or they don't have the resources to get hold of this stuff. So that was a wonderful afternoon. So Jungle Aid is well worth having a look at. jungleaid.org is the website, and well worth getting involved if you're around this area.
Is this displaced people, or is this Thai, or is this Mon, or what?
Well, a lot of these people have either come over from Myanmar or else they're Thai, but they don't have ID cards.
Right, stateless.
They're a bit, they're stateless generally, and they don't qualify for state support. But they're lovely kids, and we had a great time, and they thoroughly enjoyed it, and they got something out of it. So Jungle Aid will repeatedly go to the same village, plus 3 others, and offer supplies and support.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Mm.
Well worthwhile if people can help donate.
Yeah,
to
it was. Okay. The final point, really, the major thing for last week is there's a music producer, video producer. His name is Will Robinson. We've had him on the show here before, and we've talked about him before. He runs something called the Isan Project. Isan Project. So this is really making music and beautiful videos of the countryside and the landscapes of Thailand. So I was hoping he could join me today, but he's gone off south somewhere, down to the beaches around Prachuap to do some more research on videos. But Will makes these terrific, not documentaries, they're just beautiful travel videos of the sights and sounds of Thailand. So he has a whole film crew, and he's made his money doing music production. He's worked with people like Barry Gibb and Lisa Stansfield and all sorts of wonderful people in the music industry, and a lot more besides. So we went to the launch of this video last week, and he gets good support from the former Minister of Tourism and Sports, Senator Wirasak, who joins Will going around the country promoting these videos. So I'd urge you to have a look at the isanproject.com. I'm going to send you a link, and I'm going to send you the video and some stuff for this video, Andrew, so you can have a look at it.
Lovely.
But anyway, Will has also published a map of the Royal Coast. It's been under development for some time, but what was noted was the fact that you could, in theory, walk on the beach from Phetchaburi to the north, down through Cha'am, down through Hua Hin, down through Prachuap, down to down south, and then all the way down to Suratani. You could actually walk the beach all the way down. It's 200 kilometers. So he's highlighted this and some great stop-off points worth visiting on the way. And I'll send you a copy of that map. Well worth checking out, the Isan Project.
Well, I must admit, if I had to walk 200 kilometres of beach, I think that would be the last beaches I'd be walking on.
Yeah, you'd be knackered, I know. Yeah. But, well worth checking out. And I think, finally, the other thing is that we had a spotter culture arrive in Hua Hin last weekend. A lady by the name of Chloe Farah is the director of a production which was called About Us and Time. Theatre, it's basically acrobatic theatre. She calls it circus. We call it acrobatic theatre. And that was put on at the local theatre at the Pacharadi Centre here, the Vic Theatre, near opposite Vananava. And this was a terrific performance by some Thai artists and a couple of international people as well, just up on ropes and balance and dance and theatre with a theme of time and understanding time and vision and concept. So it was very abstract, beautifully presented, and a really unusual show that I've never really seen the likes of here in Hua Hin before. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, so there's a few things just to say what's happening coming up. Songkran is coming up, so that is in Hua Hin. That's from April 11th to 13th is Songkran, and then there's a national holiday from the 13th to the 15th. Yeah. So there's going to be lots of events. I'm not going to go through all the events, but all the major locations, malls, etc., have different events for it. But effectively, what it is throwing water at each other. And one of the marketplaces, you can see in Hua Hin today, they've got the list of places. They're actually having the cultural element of it. So people can go and see the traditional way rather than guns, water guns and things like that. Another thing is that, I'm not sure you've heard, but the national parks, some of the national parks will be closing. So specific closures will be like campsites in Khao Panon Dung from August 1st to October 31st, 2024, and also Khao Dang Viewpoint, which will be inaccessible from June 1st to 30th. And the reason for that, so basically just check what's happening. And there's two reasons for it. One, to give the parks time to recover. And the second reason is the danger because of the rains, flash floods, mud. And I'm sure you've experienced it. If you get into that mud, it's slippier than snow. It is.
Yeah, you're not getting out.
Yeah, it's just clay. So that's one thing. Something to be aware of is anyone that's out. I'm stating the obvious, but the drinking and driving, they're going to be especially strict on it. Quite rightly so. Deaths in 2021, just for Songkran, 2021 was 491, and this is in your area. In 2022 was 431, and 2023 was 469. So an estimate, Thailand's ranked number 9 of the worst places in the world for road deaths. Is primarily from 75% are between is from with young people between 15 and 29, and they are normally motorcycles. 75% is motorcycles. But
that's right.
Yeah, and the main reason is, which we all see, is people not wearing helmets. Which is a big one, and drinking and driving. So there was that. Yeah. The other thing in the news, and anyone that's doing this and thinking even as a backpacker to go and help out in charities or anything like that, that there's a big clampdown on foreigners working. So anything where you are contributing in some way and doing something, you're doing it for free, it's still classed as work, which means you can get arrested. And what they can do is actually end up deporting you for that, which means you're not getting back in for a few years. Yeah? So in Hua Hin area, they've got 700 nationals who are doing jobs illegally. And they primarily focus, the main areas are things like truck driver, tourists, driving tourists around, massage services, hairdressing, even street vending. Main countries involved are Myanmar, obviously Cambodia, obviously because it's neighbours, and Vietnam, surprising, because Vietnam, I would be surprised actually, Vietnamese people coming here to do this kind of thing, unless it's for tourism and the tours.
That is unusual. Yeah, I agree.
And then China, Russia, and India, basically running businesses. So be very aware of what's happening. And they're clamping down on the property. You've heard this as well. Clamping down on people who are basically buying a house and put it in a company name, nominee status. So they're doing an awful lot of searches on that at the moment. So you'll find that people are maybe trying to sort that out. And if you're running a company, you say, well, I've got a company, it's owned by the company. Yes, but it has to be operating. So if you're going to be operating a company and buying it under a company, the company has to be trading to some extent, not just nominee status. So moral of the story, if you want to buy somewhere, take a long-term lease, but speak to the real estate agents or a lawyer, obviously. Then the next thing is the famous annual droughts. So you've got Prambury Dam. The levels have plummeted 29.7%. Now, as we know, there's going to be heavy rains coming up as of now, for the next 2 months. So we'd hope that 30% is covered again. But it's the same thing every year. Has everyone thought of trying to store that water? Or people storing water at home with big jars or underground, capturing that rainwater as well? Yeah. So there's
I've got a lot of a lot of problems with that, though, Andrew, are the fact that when you store water, you attract mosquitoes, and of course that opens another avenue of huge problems.
Well, yeah, but then there's a pros and cons to everything. But if you don't save that water, it's also to do with farming. So they're not getting enough water into the farms. So the whole region affects everybody's livelihood and crop failures. And dengue fever is another thing. Mosquitoes will stay on still water. Yeah? So it's basically covering, or I'm not an expert in it, I'm not even claiming to be, but basically, like the dengue fever around here in the canals, are going along and they're killing with like smoke guns. Yeah,
exactly.
So what else is happening? So that's also the drought is forcing closures of the Hoi Yang. Is my correct? Hoi Yang waterfall. So they are.
I believe you.
Yeah, the decision was announced on Tuesday that they're going to close that for a while. So moral of the story is just check to see what's open. I just rattled that off. Yeah, it was just some information for people.
Well done. Okay, on a final point, something else that we did the other day, which I think is well worth it's a good recommendation. We talked about national parks just now. You might want to consider visiting a place called the Bueng Bua National Park. It's down near Sam Roi Yot. Now, Sam Roi Yot is where the mountains are, just south of Hua Hin and Prambury. And you can drive to this park, and then from there, you may well have seen pictures. They've got these beautiful walkways going out over water, and beautiful lilies and flowers and plants everywhere, with mountains in the distance. It's really spectacular. But rather than drive there, we drove just further south, where we could pick up a boat. We hired a boatman, and for a few $100, they'll take you across the waters through these incredible flowers and lilies, along the sides of the mountains, to these walkways where they've recently built a viewing tower. Huge, great thing. So you can get off the boat, go walk, and then straight up the viewing tower. And then you've got panoramic views, which are just super spectacular. Now, normally, if you go to the park, the national park, being from overseas, we normally have to pay quite a hefty fee.
Yeah.
But if you go at or after 4:30 in the afternoon, you don't have to pay.
Why? They go for a tea break.
Exactly. So they close the office at 4:30, so you can go there and without having to pay the national park fee, rent the boat and go down, which is what we did last week. And it is stunning. I'm going to send you a picture in a minute or two.
Please do.
So you can have a look.
I mean, there's so many places to see in the area. I've got to watch the videos all over again to find out where I should go when I come down to Hua Hin.
Exactly. There's so much down here. It's a wonderful place to live.
Yes, more here it's a great place also to retire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell everybody; it'll get too busy.
Exactly. Well, talking of retirees, I mean, there's a lot of golfers still wondering why Banyan changed its name to Pineapple, but that's another story.
Yeah, I'll have to speak to them because I've done some business with the gentleman there. Yeah, I was part of that move over. Yeah, so through ClipCube Media. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm done, Andrew. So thank you very much.
That's fine. Thanks very much. We'll sign off there, and I suppose the next one will be. For regarding Hua Hin, will be at the end of April, or beginning of May to see what's going on.
All right.
Okay. Thanks very much, Richard.
Thank you, Andrew. Talk again.
Thank you very much, everybody, for watching the show. I hope you found it interesting. If you've got any comments, please comment, please like, please share. Please let people know what's happening. It allows us to keep the channel going. Don't make any money from it. It's all purely just to to show off, I suppose. But anyway, it's at my studios, and that helps me as well, our green screen studios. So thank you very much, and I will see you within the next couple of weeks. Bye bye.